Hey Software 2, welcome to your video on working with color. This one does not come with any starter code, so please make sure you have a blank P5 editor window open as you are watching this video, because you will need to be coding along. The code along parts that we're doing are just pretty simple, which is why I didn't give you starter code. As always with these videos, if I'm going too fast, please feel free to pause or to rewatch sections if there's something that you missed. You can pause at any point in time to catch up. I don't generally pause myself during these because I only have a limited amount of time to film them in. So in talking about color, the very first thing that we need to do before we start coding is just to look at how colors work on a screen. So in just a second, I'm going to hit play on this finished program that is going to show you 3 overlapping circles. They make kind of like a triangle, and they all overlap. One circle is going to be colored red, one is going to be colored green, and one is going to be colored blue, and they're kind of transparent so that the places they overlap, you're going to be able to see through, they're going to mix. So in your head right now, I just want you to think, what color do you think will mix when red and green touch, when green and blue touch, when blue and green touch, when red and blue touch, all those combinations, what colors are you going to get? And then what color is going to happen when they all meet in the middle? So go ahead and think, and then I'm going to hit play, and you're going to see the colors slowly build until you see all the mixed sections. So there's our circles, and now they are fully mixed. So we see that on a computer screen, red and green make yellow, red and blue make magenta, and green and blue make this color called cyan, and when all 3 colors meet in the center, they make white. And this is because your computer actually mixes colors much differently than what you guys might be used to in Paint. When you guys are using art materials in person, you do something called subtractive mixing, which means that you're actually absorbing light from light colors from the spectrum by mixing different things. So you're actually seeing the color that's not there. And in additive mixing, you are turning lights on in order to make color. So the red, the blue, and the green, those are actually little lights that are inside every screen that you guys have ever used. If you've ever been really close to one of the old televisions, you might have seen the red, green, and the blue lights. And when you code things with color, you're telling the computer how to turn on those lights in a certain pattern to make the color that you're trying to see. So every time we are making colors, we're going to be working with 3 numbers, one that represents red, one that represents green, and one that represents blue. These numbers, much like the grayscale colors you've been working with, go 0 to 255. So we can't go lower than 0, we can't go higher than 255, and eventually we'll also see another color mixing method where the numbers are a little different, but right now 0 to 255 is all we have to worry about. Now, the other thing we need to be aware of is figuring out what numbers make what color can be a little strange, especially because we are not used to this method of mixing. So there are some tools to help you out. If you just do a Google search for color picker, which is what I searched here, you will get a thing that looks like this, where you can drag to different colors and you can select different colors. At the bottom, it'll give you 3 numbers that say RGB, that stands for red, green, blue, and these are 3 numbers that you can put right into your program. You can also use something called the Adobe Color Picker, the Adobe Color Wheel, which will be in the resources section of your Google Classroom. I really recommend this one because it allows you to drag and drop multiple colors at a time using different color harmony rules. And just like the other one, it'll tell you the red, this one's 91, the green 101, and the blue 168. And those 3 numbers together would make the same color in P5. Whichever one you choose to use, these are just to help you figure out colors. You can make every possible color using RGB. Some are just a little bit less intuitive than others. So let's take a look at what this looks like in a program. I'm going to just open up a blank editor. Oh, actually, you do have starter code for this one. Sorry, you don't have starter code for the next video. Please make sure you have your starter code open. No blank editor needed. Starter code link is in your asynchronous work. Sorry guys, I'm making a lot of this at once. Please go up to the top and hit File and then Duplicate. Remember that you don't see Duplicate if you are not logged in. So log in so you can get to File, Duplicate, and then save it. Sorry guys. When you hit play, you're going to see a rectangle at the top, and then you're going to see 5 smaller rectangles underneath. We're just going to worry about coloring this top one, and as you guys are aware, it's going to color everything beneath it, but you're going to eventually give each one of these their own color for the fill and the stroke. I have made the stroke weight 10 for everything, and right now we are just going to focus on this line 10. So I'm going to go ahead on line 10, I'm going to add a fill, and I'm actually going to try and add this nice purple color, which is 91, 101, 168. So to add that, I would write fill, and sorry, I have to check again, guys, 91, 101, 168. Those three numbers should give me a color. And if I wanted to do the same thing with stroke, which we know controls the color of the line around the outside of the shape, I could do the same thing with maybe this lavender, which is 214, 220, 255, 214, 220, 255, and then I should have a light lavender stroke around a kind of like hazy purple interior. That's really all there is to color. The only other thing that you should know, which isn't going to be like super obvious in this moment, is that there is an optional fourth value, and I will make a note of that right now. Optional fourth value controls transparency and opacity. So transparency and opacity refers to how much you can see through a shape or how much you cannot see through a shape. The default value is 255, which is completely solid, you can't see through it at all. If you add a fourth value and make it lower, it'll make that shape see-through. So you see they all get kind of dark. That's because you're seeing the gray behind the lavender and they're mixing. If you take it away, they'll go back to being exactly what they were before. This is not super useful in this moment because none of our shapes are overlapping, but if you have shapes that are on top of each other, you can use that optional fourth value to control transparency so you can see through to shapes underneath. That's about all there is to color, guys, especially since you're using these color pickers to help you find them. Your goal for the rest of today is going to be to give a fill and a stroke color to each of these rectangles. They should each have a different color. I do not care which colors you pick, but they should all be different. I don't want to see any overlapping colors. You're welcome to use the color pickers. You're welcome to just try guessing and see what you get. But do the very best you can, and yeah, we will come back for your another round of color in a few weeks. All right, guys, good luck.